High school student Yuu Otosaka possesses the unique power to take control of another person's thoughts for 5 seconds. He enters an academy through deception while maintaining his reputation as an exceptional student. Yuu impresses Yumi by saving her from an accident. Yuu is asked to come to the student council meeting, where he is accused of cheating. A girl by the name of Nao Tomori records this with her camera. Yuu once more utilizes his power and takes control of the president. Nao admits that she has been gathering evidence of his exam cheating. When Yuu flees the area, Takaj, Nao's sidekick, employs a form of pseudo-teleportation to seize her. Yuu moves to Hoshinoumi Academy, a school with a large population of kids with extraordinary powers. Jijiro and Nao visit Yuu and his sister at his new residence. Yuu has a dream about a strange boy who is walking next to him and Ayumi. The obligations of students are explained to Yuu by Nao. Yuu is allowed to take courses with Nao and Jijiro. Jijiro hurts himself while using his skills to make a quick sandwich purchase. A student tells Nao, Yuu and Jijiro the whereabouts of their next target. A student who has pornographic images of a classmate is subdued by them. The guide leads them to Yudo, who makes money by taking pictures. Yudo is given a warning by Nao that his actions could put him in danger. Yuu is told the tale of Nao's past by her. Nao's mother insisted Nao and her brother attend boarding school. After a year, Nao ran away from her school when she saw her brother for the first time and he did not recognize her. Yuu is terrified after hearing about Nao and her brother's story. They both go to the hospital to see Nao's brother. Yuu receives some food from Ayumi. For Yuu, Ayumi prepares omelet rice. When Yuu next encounters Jijiro, he discovers that he is bloody all over. They are given another task, which brings them across a user who possesses 2 skills. The 3 discover a well-known singing idol and hello performer after doing some research. Yusa Nishimori is being pursued by someone. They fend off her pursuer with the aid of her companion Sho. Later, Misa clarifies that Yusa was being pursued after she unintentionally took home the phone of a TV producer who has unfavorable information about him. That evening, Mise, who has previously been Yusa, approaches the producer and threatens him before handing him the phone back. Misa is informed by Nao that Yusa and she will be sent to Hoshinoumi Academy. When Sho admits his emotions for Mise, she praises him and advises him to lead his own life. Following Yusa's obnoxious transfer to Yu's class, Nao takes the group to their 3rd task at Kanai Academy, where they assume a telekinesis user is present. Nao notes that Arifumi is about to toss a straight ball but changes it into a knuckleball by positioning it. Nao provides them with a video of a baseball pitcher as evidence. Nao conducts a baseball game between Kanai and Hoshinoumi's teams after facing Arifumi, who wants to continue using his talent, and promises that if they win, Arifumi will stop using it. Both teams are tied for first place after 8 innings. Nisa uses Nao to help her go from second base to home in the final inning, and Hoshinoumi goes on to win by a score of 2-1. Arifumi agrees to give up using his power as a result, and Yuu occupies him for a little test by Nao. A bunch of girls attack Nao. The 4 members of the student council intend to confront a person who can fly. The user has been practicing his ability control in the mountains, so Nao decides the student council will stay there. They all get ready to set up camp on a mountain. Yusa discusses her connection with Misa with the other members during the first 2 nights, while Yuu engages with Nao and Jaeger. The next day, the person with the talent confronts them, robs her camera, and makes an effort to flee by utilizing his gift. But while Nao's soaring, Yuu tries to take over his body. The user is then persuaded by Nao to quit using his power. When Yuu finally makes his way home for supper, he discovers that Ayumi did not serve pizza sauce. He believes Ayumi is sick now. When Yuu and the others find out that a pupil with a collapse skill is in the condo, Ayumi stays at home to rest from her fever. Nao believes that Ayumi may be going to develop an ability of her own. Nao advises everyone to be cautious around Ayumi after she relates a dream in which the ground shattered. The following day, as Ayumi's temperature drops, Yuu tells her to stay at home, but she goes to school secretly nonetheless. Kanishi, a classmate who had grown to hate Ayumi for illegally taking the boy she liked away from her, confronts her there and threatens her with a knife. As she is squeezed into a corner, Ayumi suddenly uses her ability to cause buildings to fall while she is still inside of them. Takedo Kumagami can be seen inspecting the blood. Yuu discovered that Ayumi had passed away when he woke up in a hospital bed. Yuu isolates himself in his house after experiencing shock and amazement. Takajo and Yusa Nishimori went to see him at his residence. Shirayanagi approached him to speak. The floor was covered in stacks and haphazard piles of cup-o noodles, which startled the woman. Yumi tried numerous times but couldn't get Yuu to leave the house. Yuu ultimately fled to another city and made an effort to live on only snack foods while killing time in a nearby arcade. He started using his talents to harm other people and turn to drugs, but Nao, who had previously admitted to having been with Yuu the entire time, stopped him. Nao brought Yuu to Jijiro's residence and offered him some omelette rice to rekindle their relationship. He decided to accompany Nao back to the student council. When Yuu comes to school, Yusa greets him, making the other kids envious, before inviting Yuu to attend a ZHIEND performance with her. Nao calls the student council together to watch Yusa's most recent music video. Yuu runs across Sala Shane, the blind singer for ZHIEND, who invites him to supper and learns about his recent failure. Yuu decides to accompany Sala to meet Kazuki because she thinks it might be helpful for Kazuki. While traveling, Yuu learns from Sala about the challenges she encountered in her career before going blind. When they get there, Sala performs her song to Kazuki to soothe him from his fury and let him once more notice people. Following Sala's departure, Nao phones Yuu and expresses gratitude for restoring Kazuki's condition. Yuu is perplexed as to why Nao is experiencing such strong nostalgia for ZHIEND's music. When Nao and Yuu attend a concert, Nao wants to make a purchase. Although the song is sung for the first time during the concert, Yuu feels as though he has heard it before. In his sleep, Yuu sees Ayumi and himself inside the scientist's lab. Yuu is helped to flee by a scientist. Yuu starts running to free his time-traveling brother. Yuu develops telepathy and communicates with his brother via the brain. Additionally, he gains the ability of another boy to pass through obstacles. He finally walks inside the room where his brother is being held captive. His sibling achieves his freedom. Yuu then snaps out of his dream. Yuu is asked by Kumagami to save Ayumi. He drives Yuu, Nao, and Shun to the lodging where Shun, Yuu's brother, is residing. They will hear the tale of the time leap from Shun. In the past, Shunsuke and Kumagami worked to create a solution to protect ability users from researchers alongside Madoki, Shichino, and Midamori. Shunsuke's vision weakened as he was repeatedly time-leaped. After one final leap that left him blind, Shunsuke used his vision of creating a refuge to purchase an educational institution to serve as a school. Shunsuke planned for Yuu and Ayumi to be hypnotized by Madoki and had Midamori delete their memory of him to keep them safe. Shunsuke gives Yuu instructions in the present to use his time leap power to go back to the day before Ayumi passed away. Ayumi's collapse power is immediately stolen by Yuu, preventing an accidental use. Kanishi is scared away by Yuu and Nao using their abilities, preventing her from hurting Ayumi. Finally secure, Kumagami brings Ayumi and Yuu to Shunsuke. Yuu is urged by Shunsuke to remain at his research facility with Ayumi. He runs into Tsutsumiyachi, the elderly man from his flashback, who is working on a vaccine to stop the spread of special abilities, threatening to give Kumagami to a terrorist organization. Furuki is coerced into giving them what he knows about power users. In exchange for Yuu, the terrorists capture Nao and keep her, Kumagami, and Furuki's family hostage. Shunsuke told Yuu about it, and Yuu decided to enter to save them. Suddenly, another ability user attacks him and slices out his eye to stop him from time leaping. As a result, his collapse ability malfunctions and collapses the factory. Kumagami gets wounded after saving Nao from the debris and perishes as a result, but Yuu manages to use his telekinesis to save himself and the other Esper. Yuu accidentally uses his power, Collapse, when he awakens in the hospital, and Shichino has to stab him with a tranquilizer to stop him. Yuu acknowledges that he was to blame for Kumagami's demise. Yuu's friends pay him a visit to the hospital. Madoka tells Yuu about his older brother, Shunsuke, who has been standing in the same place ever since Kumagami passed away. Upon entering his room again, Yuu is greeted by Nao, who gives him a solution: loot everyone's skills throughout the world. To Nao's astonishment, Yuu takes her advice seriously. Yuu also tells Nao what's on his mind, and she's shocked. Yuu commits to Nao that she will unreservedly love her in return. Yuu tells his brother, who chooses to back him. Yuu adopts Jijiro's and Yusa's skills. Misae's when Jijiro gives Yusa a note from Misae, she sobs uncontrollably. Yuu develops a nickname as the dreaded One-Eyed Grim Reaper during his travels in the Philippines, as he gradually begins to learn the skills of each person he encounters. As he visits other nations, he starts to experience immense stress and is on the verge of going insane from having so much power. But seeing Nao's flashcards keeps him from losing control. Yuu is gravely hurt when a male bounty hunter attacks her after she finds the last living ability user in China. But she fights back and saves the young female ability user before being rescued by Shunsuke. Yuu, who has lost his memory, awakens in a Japanese hospital with Nao by his side. Nao reveals to him that they are in a relationship and thanks him for honoring their vow and the flashcards after all this time. Yuu, Nao, Yusa, and Ayumi look forward to the moments they will build now that there are no other ability users in the world.